Hello KDISD community, Duke Keller here, your candidate for school board position 1.
And I'm Lance Redmon, your candidate for position 2. Today we're here to share a little bit about what we're calling From the Street to the State, our contract with the community.
From the street to the state has 3 main areas of focus. The street, literally what's happening in our communities. The schools, what's happening in the front line of our classrooms. And the state, what is happening at Austin that's affecting us in KDISD and what's coming down from Austin.
So the final area that we looked at, we've got the street, we've got the school, and we've got the state. And so recently there's been a lot of talk about what's happening in Austin. Financing I'm You want to tackle either one of those topics?
No.
All right, well, goodbye. We'll see y'all later.
I'm kidding.
Well,
sorry.
I think finance has been a big one the district has talked about recently, and there's been some things happening within the legislature, even within this past week with, I believe, House Bill and State Bill 3, and those have changed from when we first heard about them, months and weeks ago, even to where this past week. And one of the things I think that would be really important as a school board, the school district is doing things. Like there are people that are representing KDISD at the state, and people within the ESC know what's going on, and they've met with our legislature and those representatives recently. But I think as a parent, I'd like to know what I can go do and say to reinforce what they're saying. I'd like to know who is representing the school district and what message are they sending? How can we team up with them to be a louder voice than just it's not a lobbying group, but the lobbying group, right?
Sure.
What about testing? I'll let you do that one.
Oh, I was already thinking of the other one. One of the things you and I've heard a lot, Lance, out in the community are things that people complain about that they might believe are local, but they're really state items.
Yep.
And I think we've tried to educate people when we talk to them about certain issues that they're not necessarily local school board issues, and they're not governed by our school board. But I think one of the ways to attack those is, one, voters need to tell the state what they think. They need to put pressure on the representatives. We need to have concerted effort to address these items at the state level. For example, the STAR testing, there's quite a bit of complaining about the STAR testing and teachers who don't want to have to teach to the test, so to speak. So that's one of the things we could do as a community in concerted effort with the school district of pushing back on those things and letting Austin know that they're not good for local districts and they need to be changed.
Yeah, I don't think that I've read a positive article written about the current testing. I understand the need to have an assessment. I understand the need to be able to provide accountability. I even theoretically understand tying that to some funding and things like that, although I think there's a lot better ways we can do it. And I think we've got some good people here in Texas that can help make that decision.
I agree. So Lance, one of the things I think we both had mentioned to us when we were out in the community is term limits. And a lot of people have asked whether at the state level that a law could be passed, or even locally to have term limits. And I think that's something that we should look at. For me personally, when I decided to run, I had set my goal of only serving 2 terms. I have a 4th grader, and by the end of those 2 terms, he would be heading into 11th grade, and I feel like it'd be time for me to step aside and give someone else a chance to serve. I think that's very important. So unless there were extenuating circumstances that required me to continue my service, for example, there wasn't someone willing to step up and serve, I would probably self-limit myself to 2 terms on the school board.
Yeah, I agree. I think as I look into it, if I've got the opportunity to serve from the community for a 2nd term, I think right now I could probably say that would be my plan. And then, like you said, at the same time, if there is an issue that the district needs, or for some reason need to go to a 3rd one, I don't think that's unreasonable. My hope would be is that we begin to have qualified people step up to serve and begin to learn and take active role in our schools and on our volunteer boards throughout the school district, and take their skills that they've learned in day-to-day life, that they've used in the school district, that they've used out in the workplace, and bring that to benefit our school district. I would love to look up in 6 years, if I have the opportunity to serve that long, and see so many great, more qualified people that it's an easy decision to step down, or not to step down, but to not run again, because we've got so many people coming out of the woodwork to serve and love on our children.
I'm Duke Keller, and I approve this message.